No, you're not crazy. You're just being gaslighted. And in this video, I will share what is gaslighting, how to spot it, and some simple but profound ways to stop it. And towards the end, I will share why sometimes it's so easy to fall for gaslighting. Welcome back to the all new Total Marriage Transformation channel. And I'm Dr. Delroy Fredericks of Hope Conquers Marriage Enrichment, where I help couples spiritually and personally enrich and transform their marriage. Now, the term gaslighting is a form of emotional manipulation where one spouse tries to make the other person question their reality or their memory or their perception of something. It can be subtle and can leave the victim feeling unsure of themselves, confused, or anxious to the point of asking, hold a minute, am I crazy? Am I imagining things? Does it describe your relationship? Well, I want to give you some common examples that may help you to see if gaslighting might be happening in your relationship as we speak. Now, one common example of gaslighting is when one person denies past events or things that they would have said, even though you clearly remembered what happened. As an example, let's say you spoke to your spouse earlier during the day on the phone and you said, could you stop and buy the bread? And your spouse comes in and you say, did you stop and at the store to buy the bread? And your partner or your spouse says, I never said that. You probably imagine me saying that. If this is a pattern, you are being gaslighted. And this can make you doubt your memory. And that's why it's so devastating in relationships when this is happening. Another example is when your partner constantly twists situations to make it seem like everything is your fault, even when the evidence is clearly there. So you might say something like, last night when we were hanging out and you left me for a period of time and you were talking to your friends or whatever, I felt alone because since I didn't have, most of the people there were your friends. And then they just look at you and say something like, why are you being so dramatic? Or they use the always. Why are you always so dramatic? And furthermore, it's your bad attitude that actually killed the night. You see, what's happening here is the person who is gaslighting you rarely or almost most of the time refuses to take responsibility. Are you getting this? Are you getting this? Are you getting this? Type in chat if you're getting this. Another example is when one partner minimizes the other partner's feeling. They'll say things like, you're too sensitive, or, why are you overreacting? They do this with the goal of dismissing your emotions so that they can be in control of your reality. It's just amazing. Emotional safety in these cases are truly gone. I mean, we just did a workshop on how to create emotional safety. I think you'll find value in that. And the most common example of gaslighting is just blatant lying or withholding information to control the other person's understanding of reality. Some may even go as far as trying to isolate you from friends and family so as to gain more control. Now remember, the goal of the person gaslighting is to control you. Type 1 in the comment section if you feel a little bit more knowledgeable on how to spot some common gaslighting behaviors. Type 1 in the comment now. So, now that you can spot it, how can you stop it? Well, it starts with you. You have to find a way to stand your ground in what you know to be true. When your partner says you're too sensitive, you can say something like, I know what I've experienced and I know the way that it made me feel. I do not imagine facts from an assertive standpoint. Or if they try to dismiss your feelings, you can say, it's not okay to dismiss my feelings because you know, you come from a place of knowing. We need to be able to have hard or difficult conversations in our relationship if we desire it to grow from an assertive standpoint. And I've actually done a video on how to have difficult conversations. I'll leave a link in the description. And another way you can stop gaslighting is to write down key conversations or agreements that you had with your spouse. And sometimes you can even do this in a text, where obviously that's going to be the evidence. You can say something like, when we did the example with the bread, you could have said, or text your spouse just confirming what we agreed on. You're stopping to buy the bread. Lastly, don't get drawn in emotionally. This is what the gaslighter wants to happen, that you get drawn in emotionally so that there's a back and forth like, no, you didn't. Yes, you did. Yes, I said this. No, you didn't. That's what they want. It's not healthy for the relationship. So simply saying, like, this is what I heard, is coming from a knowing standpoint. Or, what's happening now isn't productive. Let's continue this conversation when we're both calm. Or, I understand. You disagree with me right now, but I still know what I know. These are simple but profound responses that can stop gaslighting in its tracks. So, why is it so easy for many to fall for gaslighting? Well, one of the reasons goes back to our childhood experiences. Let me explain. As an example, when we grow up with certain behaviors, it feels familiar. So, if in your childhood experiences, your feelings were denied as kids, when you and your parents or other grown-ups would say things like, you're too sensitive. When you now are married and you start to hear this familiarity, and you start to hear the same type of thing from your spouse, you tend to believe the same. But you don't have to stay there. Because now that you know how to spot some of these behaviors, you can also stop some of these behaviors. So, if you have found this video valuable, subscribe as I post a new video every week. And comment below on other behaviors you may consider as gaslighting and how you have handled it in your relationship. And if you desire to enrich your marriage even more, be sure to watch this next video now. See you in the next video.